Welcome back to yet another Plasticon review. In this series of reviews, we are going to review Machine Wars. Yes, Machine Wars. Why? Because I have them all. Anyhow, we're going to break over to the table and check them out. Moving on to our very last Machine Wars line bot is none other than Optimus Prime. Optimus Prime shares the same mold that was during the Turbo Masters line. This is the Thunder Clash mold with some slight retooling and a complete different color scheme. Obviously, Prime's colors, but a very, very cool bot indeed. This entire truck mold has a lot of detail, a lot of sculpted stuff throughout the entire thing, like this crazy engine sculpting here, and the simple fact that they took the time to actually mold so much into this is just unbelievable. Although there are sticker applications throughout it, all the way, it's still a really, really cool truck. This is almost a play school type of feel, especially with these odd looking wheels. These wheels don't even have tires on them, they just look like little rims that he's running around on. But still, really cool. It's a very neat looking truck. Here is Optimus Prime in his truck mode. Very, very cool looking bot. I do like this truck. This is very neat how this looks, because this almost looks like a European futuristic type of vehicle. Although it looks as if the headlights are up here and those are fog lights. Kind of interesting. Really, really cool. It is kind of weird that he has this kind of just sticking off the back, but you have to kind of forgive it. But anyhow, transformation for this guy is fairly easy. Even a kid could do it. Oh yeah, one other thing, that is just a really awesome looking logo. I really enjoy this logo on here, with the Autobot emblem in the middle of this light. It's almost like a Guardian crest. Very interesting. And he does have these little things here on the sides, which I guess you could call those guns. Some people just call them horns. Transformation goes into moving the feet down, raising up the front of the cab, spinning around to the back, and folding down this panel to flip up the head, coming to the front and splitting the cab in half. Grab his fists, hold them out, fold down the chest piece, then flip up the head. Optimus Prime in his robot mode looks kind of odd, and didn't even bother to really do anything for the head sculpt. They just repainted the whole thing. It's a very neat looking robot though. It's kind of weird though. Oh yeah, flip up this back. he does have ability to hold a gun, which comes off of his trailer. This trailer has 3 guns here in the front. These 2 firing missiles. Then you have this portion here. This comes unpegged and will successfully peg into his hand. Moving on to the trailer gets fairly large. It's got a really cool gimmick. First off, when you press this white button on the front, it will allow you to flip down the cannons, a lot like Sandstorm. On the sides here are these little bitty black tabs that you use to fire. And yes, that hit my desk. That's how hard they fire. They fire very far. As for the missiles, you got a lot of molded detail built into them. They're very, very thick and chunky, which really shows that this was more or less a play school type of toy. Not to mention the size of the plus that the missile plugs back into. As for the trailer though, the trailer's got a lot of molded detail. So much detail throughout it. It's got these odd looking panels here at the bottom. Very, very cool. Obviously the G1 feel going on here. It's got these really weird looking windows here, which kind of tells me this must be a larger battle platform, or those are just lights. Very cool. It's even got like sculpted detail here. This is part of the battery that's on the inside, but it's kind of neat that they actually have molded detail on this side of it as well. Very cool. It does have a center wheel down here to kind of help stabilize it, so you don't have to worry about the bits having to come down in order to stabilize it. But it doesn't have any kind of flip down gimmick or anything like that. Moving on to the back, it says Transformers right there on the back, molded into the plastic. It's kind of funny because Thunder Clash had the same thing. This is something that they started carrying over because they're moving into the G2 line. Also, the sight that's on him, a lot of molded detail within that glass. I do know it's dusty in there. I apologize for any of that because these guys are kind of hard to clean sometimes. But anyhow, let's move on to its transformation. It has a bit of parts leprosy here at the beginning. You have to pull this entire portion here off. And that's something else I like to do. Just grab this entire portion here and unclick it and pull it completely off. And grab it by the back of the entire trailer and then fold it all the way out. Angling these down, they are on ratchets. Fold down these large stabilizing feet pad. Then open up the gun battery and pull it up, taking the large portion off the top of the trailer and then pull up the top of the tower. After that, you will flip down the back of the tower. Reinstall the top portion of the battery, then reinstall the tailgate into the back of the 2 holes. Last but definitely not least, fold out the handles. As you can tell, the battle station for this thing is extremely huge. Has a lot of height to it, and it's very, very cool. Really stands for a nice battle station to just use for any of the Autobots, or even the Decepticons. The gimmicks on this thing that were robbed from the Thunder Clash was missiles that were able to be loaded into the 2 chambers here to be able to flip out, roll down, and fall into here, be triggered by pulling the portions on the back of the cannon out to actually fire them. This no longer has that, where it was just install 2 missiles with spring-loaded gimmick and then just fires. Prime does have the ability to stand on the battery itself. It's kind of funny seeing how Optimus Prime just stands back there to gun this entire battle station. Very interesting, and it is kind of cool. He is able to hold the triggers with both hands, or just hold his gun in one hand and fire with the other. But yes, his eyes do line up with the targeting system on this. It's an interesting look at a really cool looking toy that should have seen more repaints, especially back during the day. This is the last one of the entire Machine Wars line. So, onto my final thoughts for the entire line. Personally, I believe this line is one of the most underrated lines that have been in the Transformers universe. It's really cool that BotCon decided to go through and do a whole homage to the whole Generation 2 and Machine Wars line. And personally, I believe these things are still highly collectible. Now, if you guys don't really prefer these kind of transformations, I completely understand. But you do have to admit, it's a very cool line, and it's brought on some really cool kibble. Anyhow, this has been Plasticon, and this has been yet another review. And this is me signing off. Peace out, you guys.